Right, here we are again. Let me project the text. All right, let's start with mantra. Om Vang me manasi pratisthita mano me vachi pratishthitam aviravirma edi vedasyama anistha shrutam me ma prahasi anena dihitena horatran samdadhami aritam vadishyami satyam vadishyami tanmamavatu tadvaktaramavatu avatu mam avatu bhaktaram avatu bhaktaram. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So here we are, we just read one verse from this hymn of Shrutavid Atreya to Mitra and Varuna, with Sri Aurobindo's explanation of this hymn of the Lords of the thousand-pillared home of truth and bliss. I know it is too much for everyone to go through all these luminous verses and so on. It's something which is kind of too much for the ordinary consciousness to dwell on. After some time it becomes like overwhelmed with light. But let us read again the first one briefly and come to the second one and start our today's session. Ritenar tam apihitam dhruvam vam. Ritena ritam apihitam dhruvam vam. Suryasya yatra vimuchanti ashvan. Dashashatasaha tasthu tad ekam divanam shreshtham vapusham apashyam. By the truth is veiled the ever-standing truth of yours, where they unyoke the horses of the sun. There the 10 hundreds stand still together. That one I have beheld, the greatest of the embodied gods. There are many footnotes here, we can go through them. By that truth, the active cosmic truth of things diffused and arranged in their mutability and divisibility, of time and space, veils the eternal and unchanging truth of which it is a manifestation. So everything here is a manifestation of that truth beyond time and space. It's kind of a shadow or the projection of the one truth beyond. And then the horses of the sun unyoke in that place. The eternal truth is the goal of the divine light, which arises in us and journeys upward into a higher and higher heavens through the shining upper ocean. So if you can imagine the upper ocean through which we are rising higher and higher into the higher and higher heavens constantly. So what is that ocean about? It has layers upon layers. It's kind of heavens upon heavens, as it were. Number 4 is there the 10 hundreds stand still together. There the entire plenitude of the divine wealth in its outpouring of knowledge, force, and joy. And these are 10 hundreds. Yeah? Sri Aurobindo gives these numbers and symbolism of the numbers in the Vedic texts in a very interesting manner. We spoke about this not once. He says that the 10 is the kind of infinity in the finite world, in the world of division. Yeah? 100 is the infinity in the cosmic realm, so to say, in the cosmos. And 1,000 is the infinity of the infinities, transcendental. Yes. So you have 1,000, you have 110. They are kind of replica of the infinity towards this. It's like holographic picture. Yes. Within the drop, you have the whole ocean, or you can have this mathematical formula where you have these, what do you call it? Forgot the name of this. When you have picture within the picture within the picture within the picture, um, fractals. Yeah, within fractals. So the 10 is a fractile of the 100, which is fractile of the 1,000, which is fractile of the tens of thousands, and so on. It's a holographic picture. So you come to the infinity in the drop of the ocean. Yes. So that's why tens of hundreds stood together. So it's kind of interesting. Tens of hundreds they use, like in America they use, instead of saying thousand, they will say 10 hundreds. It's an unusual way of using the numbers. And we read through this, which is important to read, but we will not read it again. But what is important here is that the dawns, this is the dawns shining arise, the rivers travel, and the sun unyokes there the horses of his chariot. That is the place of Mitra and Varuna, the two kings. There are powerful verses in Savitri also confirming the same. So we are coming to the number 2. Tatsuvam Mitra Varuna Mahitvam Irmatas Tushich Ahabhir Dudure Vishvach Pinvathach Svasarasya Dena Anuvam Ekach Pavir Avavarta. That is the utter vastness of you, O Mitra and Varuna. There the Lord of the movement milks the herds of his stable radiances by the days. Lo, you twain swell all the streams of the blissful one, and your one wheel moves in their path. There is a footnote for one wheel. The unified movement, interesting, one wheel is a unified movement. When the lower wheel of the sun is struck away, the inferior truth is taken up into the unity of the higher truth, from which it now seems to be separate in its motion. Unifying movement of the transcendental with this movement of the lower hemisphere. That is the one wheel symbol. I would never guess this, but Sri Aurobindo gives this beautiful kind of description of why it is used. Tatsuva Mitra Varuna Mahitvam. That is your greatness, O Mitra and Varuna. Irmatas Tushich, there they stand, those cows, those rays, yes, those tens of hundreds who stood together, they stand there, Ahabhich Duduhre, being milked by the days. Now, this is being milked by the days. Here we have this interesting form, which is actually middle voice. I'm talking to my Sanskrit students. Middle voice, which is used as passive voice. Duduhre. It is, they are milked by the days, those who stand there in the highest heaven. Unyoked, yeah, the horses, and tens of hundreds stand there steadily together, and they are milked by the days. What does it even mean to be milked by the days? Interesting, yeah? The days are actually all those illuminations which are coming into the lower hemisphere, breaking of the days, yes, bringing the light from above into the lower hemisphere. This is how we are milking the transcendental. So the days, so to say, below are milking the cows or the herds of the sun, where they are standing still in the transcendental heaven. We are constantly milking the delight, the knowledge, the bliss from above, because we are the replica, or we are the projection of that one truth. And we are covering that truth with our truth of becoming, of multiplicity. Multiplicity by the days, milking the transcendental here. Is it not interesting that by the days is used? Vishwapin vatchas vasaras yadhena. And these cows, dhenach, nourishing cows, are kind of swell all the streams of blissful one, of your one wheel. So what is happening that the lid of the sun is already open, and there is only one movement of transcendental with this world. This is their major contribution, as I understand, of Mitra Varuna to this world. Let us look into the next, and it will become clearer. It comes back again. Adharayatam prithivim utadhyam. Mitra Rajana Varunamahobhich Vardhayatam Oshadhich Pinvatam Gach Avavrishtim Srijatam Jiradano. You uphold earth and heaven, O Mitra King and King Varuna. By your greatnesses, Mahobhich, by greatnesses, you increase the growth of earth, Vardhayatam Oshadhich, Pinvatam Gach, and nourish the shining herds of heaven. Avavrishtim Srijatam Jiradano, you pour forth the rain of its waters, O swift in strength, Jiradano. Adhara, Dharayati, Adharayatam, you uphold Prithivim, the earth, Utadhyam, and the heaven. And notice the interesting here vocative, Mitra Rajana Varuna, compositor which is broken in between, like Mitra Rajana, Mitra the kings, Rajana is dual, Varuna is dual. You see, Rajana comes in between Mitra Varuna. Should be Mitra Varuna Rajana. But they put Rajana in between, which is very unusual, breaking the whole vocative case. And only one stress. And so stress is so important. Mitra Rajana Varuna Mahobhich. Yes, only two udattas in the whole line. which tells us what it is. It's vocative case. And if we read it wrongly, we will misunderstand totally the meaning. Vardhayatam oshadhih pinvatam gach avas vrishtim srajatam jiradano. So you uphold earth and heaven, O Mitra, King and King Varuna, by your greatnesses. You increase the growths of earth. Notice they are not only from heaven, they are also supporting the growth, the soma. Oshadhih. Oshadhih is soma incarnate here in the greenery. You nourish the shining herds of heaven. Pinvatam gach. You make the heavenly herds of the sun nourished by what? By the purity and luminosity of the divine being and consciousness. You pour forth the rain of its waters, or swift in strength. So Sri Aurobindo explains the symbolism of the ocean and the rivers in connection with the King Varuna. This is important passage. Let us read slowly. From this idea of the oceans arose naturally the psychological concept of the Vedic rivers. So the oceans first, the rivers next. These rivers are everywhere. They are the waters which flow down from the mountain and ascend the mind, ranging through and illuminating with their flow the dark subconscious secrets of Vritra. Vritra is the withholder, the obstructor. He obstructs the flow of the truth and nourishment by the truth. He dries up our need for knowledge of the truth. Yes, he is actually the killer of joy of the truth. We have to enjoy the truth, but Vritra sucks out all soma. He is full of soma. He does not allow the flow of the delight together with the truth. So what these rivers do, interesting, they are illuminating with their flow the dark subconscious secrets of Vritra. They are flowing into Vritra. He is gobbling these streams, but by their streaming through him, they are illuminating with their flow the dark subconscious secrets of his inner being, his darkness. They are the mighty ones of heaven, whom Indra brings down on the earth. They are the streams of the truth. They are the rain from its luminous heavens. They are the seven eternal sisters and companions. They are the divine waters who have knowledge. So these streamings are the streams of knowledge, the rain of luminous heavens, the streams of the truth. These are the currents. We spoke about them, Ila, Saraswati, Mahis, three of them, supramental currents, which nourish us, nourish with the truth, with revelation, inspiration, and greatness. They descend upon the earth, they rise from the ocean, they flow to the ocean, they rise from the ocean and flow to the ocean. They break out from the doors of the panis. The doors of the panis, our senses of action, which are withholding every illumination and hiding in subconscious cave of Vala. They ascend to the supreme seas. Oceanic Varuna is king of all these waters. This is Sri Aurobindo's text. In their uprising of the rivers, it is said, he is a brother of seven sisters. He is in their middle. He is in the midst of these seven sisters, seven rivers, seven currents of consciousness, yes, of Satchit, Tapas, Ananda, and triple supermind. And another rishi has sung, in the rivers Varuna is seated, upholding the law of his works, perfect in will for empire. He is an emperor. Varuna is an emperor, by the way, and for his empire he is perfect in will. Vasishtha, by the way, is a devotee of Varuna. He is Mitra Varuni. His lineage goes straight to Varuna. There are few of these rishis, great rishis. Bhrigu is the son of Varuna, Vasishtha, and Agastya Rishi, three. And Vasishtha always prays to Varuna for purity, for protection, for mercy, because Varuna is merciless. He will not tolerate any imperfection and impurity. He is quite a powerful one, which everybody is afraid of, because nobody is pure to the extent of the divine existence. So we are all mixed, and when Varuna comes, he is demanding the purity. So Vasishtha speaks with a more explicit crowding of psychological suggestions of the divine, pure and purifying waters, honey pouring, in the midst of whom King Varuna marches, looking down on the truth and the falsehood in creatures. So Varuna is known also that he has his spies everywhere. His eyes are everywhere, like the stars in the sky. It is his spies. By them he knows everything. He sees, he looks down on the truth and falsehood in the creatures. He knows all your falsehoods and all your truths. Yes? Varuna too, like Indra, with whom he is often associated, releases the waters. Sped from his mighty hands, they too, like him, become all-pervading and flow to a limitless goal. Sped from his mighty hands, they too, like him, become all-pervading and flow to a limitless goal. So he is all-pervading, and he makes these currents of the truth. He effectuates them. He actualizes them in his all-pervading presence. The Son of Infinity, the wide upholder, has loosed them forth everywhere. The rivers journey to the truth of Varuna. You cannot imagine such pictures are impossible to imagine in any other literature or in any other philosophy. Nobody dares to go that far, yeah? That deep, because these are experiences. They are beyond the mental, kind of formulations. Not only the goal, the march too is his. Varuna, of the puissant and the thousandfold vision, beholds the goal of these rivers. He holds also the march and the goal of these rivers. He is the king of the kingdoms. He is the form of the rivers. For him is a strength supreme and universal. For him is a strength supreme and universal. His oceanic movement envelopes all the kingdoms of being and ascends to the paradise, capital P, of the heaven of heavens. What is this heaven of heavens? Transcendental to the transcendental. Yeah? He is the hidden ocean, it is said, and he climbs, passing beyond heaven. When he has said the sacrificial word in these dawns, then with his luminous foot he tramples asunder illusions and ascends to paradise. So, you see, he has set the sacrificial word in these dawns. The dawns are carrying his knowledge, his power. Then, with his luminous foot, he tramples asunder illusions. All the illusions which are dispersed by the dawns, it is his power, his working in the dawns. And thus he ascends to paradise. Varuna, we see, is the oceanic surge of the hidden divine as he rises, progressively manifested to his own infinite wideness and ecstasy in the soul of the God-liberated seer. Now we know who he is. Yes? This is the oceanic surge of the hidden divine as he rises, progressively manifested through these currents, occupying and pervading more and more what he already pervades, to his own infinite wideness and ecstasy in the soul of the God-liberated seer. So there has to be the God-liberated seer before he experiences this infinite extension of Varuna in his wideness and ecstasy. So that very soul becomes transcendental. It moves through the supermind to the transcendental worlds. There are many passages here I kind of added as a companion for this one verse. There are wonderful statements explaining the mystery of this creation in double terms of the dweller and the dwelling. In other places we see this. Vasam Rajanam Vasatim Jananam. It's about King Varuna, the king of the dwelling places and the dwelling place of those who are born in the body. So he is the king of all the dwelling places, and he is also a dwelling place for all who are born here. He encompasses, pervades all, is present everywhere, indicating that all the dwelling places are for him to dwell, and at the same time he himself is a dwelling place of all those creatures which got embodied in the physical body, because he is also to the lowest, he is the matter himself, as the being, divine being, Sat on the top, and the Annam, the matter, at the bottom. He is the self of all, the existence, the beingness of every existent one in this manifestation. The one who sees all the beings in himself and himself in all the beings. There are these passages from Isha Upanishad. Yastu sarvani bhutani atman yevanu pashyati sarva bhuteshu chatmanam tatona vijugupsate. The one who sees all the beings in himself and himself in all the beings, and from that he is not shrinking. So he is not getting less, he is not falling back onto himself because it is overwhelming. Yasmin sarvani bhutani atmaiva bhudvijanatach, in the whom all the beings became himself of the one who has this supramental knowledge, vijanatach. Tatra komahach, what kind of bewilderment there possible? Kach shoka, what kind of stress, shoka, ekatvamanupashyatach, of the one who sees, who perceives the oneness. The one who perceives the oneness cannot shrink, cannot suffer at all anymore. And that is somewhat the description of Varuna's presence all throughout the universes, transcendental and in the lower hemisphere. There is an illuminating description of the relation between the low and higher creation in savagery, how the higher transcendental realms determine and conceive the creation below through the intermediaries, the sovereign kings of thought. Notice kings and thought capitalized. These are the kings. Sri Aurobindo calls them the guardians of the truth. They are the guardians. The Varuna, Mitra, Aryaman, Bhaga, four guardians of the truth. There is the whole chapter dedicated to them in the Secret of the Veda. In the sublimer and more daring soar to the wide summit of the triple stairs, bare steps climbed up like flaming rocks of gold, burning their way to a pure absolute sky. Can you imagine such a flaming rocks of gold steps burning their way to a pure absolute sky? August and few, the sovereign kings of thought, have made of space their wide all-seeing gaze. This is exactly Varuna. He made of space all-seeing gaze. He looks through every corner. His spies are everywhere in space, surveying the enormous work of time, a breadth of all-containing consciousness, supported being in a still embrace. This is exactly the description of Varuna. Intercessors with the luminous unseen, they kept in the long passage to the world the imperatives of the Creator Self, obeyed by unknowing earth, by conscious heaven, they are obeyed. Their thoughts are parents in its vast control. A great all-ruling consciousness is there, and mind, unwitting, serves a higher power. This mind, capital M, the supermind, serves, unwitting serves a higher power. It is a channel, not the source of all. Mind is only a channel of that power. The cosmos is no accident in time. There is a meaning in each play of chance. There is a freedom in each phase of fate. A wisdom knows and guides the mysteried world. A truth gaze shapes its beings and events. The truth gaze, Varuna's gaze. A word self-born upon creation's heights, Brahman, voice of the eternal in the temporal spheres, prophet of the seeings of the absolute, source, the idea's significance in form, and from that seed the growths of time arise. I wanted Savitri to support this wider thinking for the Veda, because in the Veda we have tendency to shrink to the gods, their names, their functions, relations between each other. It's not like that on that level. It is more on, as Sri Aurobindo describes, it is of this kind. Yeah? It is that sense we have to get. Once we get it, we understand who Varuna is. It is actually an experience of the vaster consciousness, present everywhere, with these streams, currents of the truth, nourishing everything, giving everything the right to be true. Yeah, kind of removing all the obstacles and bewilderment and falsehoods with these pure streams of the truth and powers. nourishing, illumining, constantly changing everything to the truer and truer prototype, becoming more and more divine on the way. So just to get this sense, then we understand the Veda. Without Savitri, it becomes quite difficult. Without Sri Aurobindo, it's impossible to understand the Veda. But without Savitri, it's quite difficult. With Savitri and Sri Aurobindo, it becomes kind of nearly possible, nearly possible to understand, or at least close to it. And there are more and more. It's not the end. Yes.
Vladimir,
Yes. I will stop here
in the
for a second.
trans
Go ahead.
in the translation above, there is mention of paradise. How do we understand the line in Savitri where you read creation's heights? Is that the way we must, or creator's heights, one of them? Um, how do we understand paradise in the Vedic context?
You cannot understand paradise in the Vedic context. Paradise is a Christian word, and not even Christian, pre-Christian. Yes, it's from yeah from Judaism. Yes, we have paradise, and paradise is something which is actually quite low in the scale of Vedic worlds. Yes, it's closer to our vital worlds. But here, Sri Aurobindo uses many times words in his own way. He puts capital P on paradise, meaning there is no equivalent of the word to paradise in this text. I think what he wants to say, that the oneness of the spirit and matter is somewhat realized, or at least that match of power and consciousness is fulfilled to the extent impossible to think. That's what he means, in my view, if it makes sense.
Yeah.
It's not the term for some place where you have to come and be happy. It's not this type. It's
Yeah.
it's a vision. Yeah, it's a vision of fulfillment in the future, yes, where everything, where the life on earth becomes a paradise. Yes. Can you imagine we live in paradise on earth? That is something of that kind. Everything is bliss. Whatever you think, feel, touch, speak, see, everything is a touch of bliss, of Ananda, infinite. That is the paradise. Fully realized truth. Truth realized to the extent that everything becomes bliss. Yeah. Supramental manifestation, if you will.
Yeah.
There's an interesting parallel between some of what you explained about Varuna and the book of Revelation in the Bible, a vision of St. John. When you said Varuna is in the midst of the seven rivers and that he holds the march and the goal of the rivers, one of the first images in the book of Revelation is that John sees Jesus in some flaming form, that he's standing in the midst of seven candlesticks and he's holding seven stars in his hand. And he explains that these are the seven churches which represent humanity or whatever. They have many meanings. But just that image, as soon as you said the words in the midst of the seven, I was like, oh, that's what that's about. So I need to dig into it a little bit further, but I think there's something there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The seven is of course, sacred number of the seven worlds and which we manifest, yes, Satchitananda Vijnana Manas, prana, and annam. This is the fullness of manifestation from transcendental to our two hemispheres connected with supermind. Sri Aurobindo's sign, 7. Yes, 6-cornered star and the square in between, the 7th or the 4th. The 4th from above, the 4th from below. So this 4th one, which holds both worlds. And that is actually the meaning of that paradise, yes? Because when these two worlds of spirit and matter come together, that creates the paradise, yes? In the highest sense, as a concept, yes? And not as a paradise as we know it, yes? Because we use paradise very differently for the traveling of reincarnation, whenever the soul is leaving, whether you are going up or down, which gate, yes? So you want to go to paradise, be good in this life. You want to go to hell? Well, yeah, enjoy yourself to the extent that you lose yourself totally. Then you go to hell. This hell and heaven is actually very kind of vulgar transliteration of something which exists, because you may go through ordeals of cleansing of whatever is stuck with you, yes? Sri Aurobindo was making fun of these people who lived, all their lives, sinful lives, and then they come to confession, and they think that with one confession, one confessing at the end of their life all their sins, they will be delivered. Because Jesus is great, he will deliver you anyhow. So after sinning all his life, he will say this to the priest, and priest will say, okay, you are free to go. No, Sri Aurobindo says, no way. The very drive which was driving you all life will not let you go. It's a habit. You build the habit, and that habit is not easy to take away. It's impossible to take. Only you have to slowly deal with it and redo it, undo it. Confession will not help, and this idea strongly existing in a normal kind of church, yes, that you come every Sunday to to tell something, hear what I sinned and so on, and then you will be free to sin again, yeah, the whole week. The whole week you have to sin and then come back and again confess. Now, there is some truth in it in a way, because we can't be totally sinless, yes, because of the very nature who we are. Yes, we are half made, so to say, half beast, half God. And in a way, nature is ruling, and sinning is following the gunas, rajas. Today I became angry, for example. For a long time I was not angry ever. I thought I lost this, but I felt that fire in me. And it was funny, because it was nearly funny that it is still there. But it is there. It's nature. Nature, Rajas Guna. And that is how we are sinful. But are we really sinful? Is there sin altogether? Sri Aurobindo says that there is only one sin. It is selfishness. Selfishness. If I do it for my own selfish reason, something, and diminish others, demolish others for my selfish gain only. That's sin. Otherwise, it's management by nature. It's not really sin, truly speaking. It's who we are in this moment of time. But what we want to be is a very big, different task. Yes, it is not who we are we want to be. We want to be who we are not yet. Who we are in the inside. We want to be outside. And that's the whole problem, or the whole definition of sacrifice. We want to bring the inner properties of our own consciousness to the surface. And that takes time and effort and aspiration and rejection and surrender. And remember and offer, all those elements have to be activated in us in order to bring what we are inner to the what we are outer.
There is this aphorism 21 by Sri Aurobindo, which the mother gives an explanation of in On Thoughts and Aphorisms, where she answers this question of when we ask for forgiveness of the divine, does he always forgive us? This very interesting answer she provides.
Go ahead.
I won't read the whole thing. I'll just read the
Read,
last
no
part of
issue.
it.
It's always something there.
Okay. Sri Aurobindo himself gives us the divine's answer. Forgive whom and what? The Lord knows that all is himself, and therefore that all actions are his and all things are himself. To forgive, one must be other than the one who is forgiven, and the thing to be forgiven must have been done by someone other than oneself. The truth is that when you ask forgiveness, you hope that the dire consequences of what you have done will be wiped away. But that is possible only if the causes of the error you have committed have themselves disappeared. If you have made a mistake through ignorance, the ignorance must disappear. If you have made a mistake through bad will, the bad will must disappear and be replaced by goodwill. Mere regret will not do. It must be accompanied by a step forward. I'll stop here. I
Perfect.
don't want to.
Yeah, you see, everything is clear why confession doesn't work. I regret that I did so much bad things. Yes, regret is not good enough. Please undo it with goodwill. And yeah.
Yeah, very beautiful. Yeah, I think that's the thing, this whole guilt trip, that is very prevalent in, this whole, like, you have sinned and oh my God, it's just like, I think it's really sad that, they make people feel so bad about themselves, right?
Yeah.
Uh, You know, but this concept of uh, sin, I was very interesting, Vladimir. Just today, it just so happened, and this has been, a thought that's been coming, right? So I was reading Savitri. I think this is the godheads of the greater life, and
Mm.
here there is a small one sentence, and he says, "All powers of life towards their godhead tend. In the wideness and daring of that air, each builds its temple and expands its cult. And sin too there is a divinity." So it's very interesting, here and then somewhere he says, that, I mean, whatever, that they are living, right? So there is some truth in that, right? That these, so life, it goes both ways, right? There is the, kind of one overflowing towards the truth and the other. But still, I think Shrimandu doesn't condemn it, right?
Yeah.
That I think that's kind of what you were saying also, right?
Yeah. What you can you're managed by nature, so what can you do? Yes,
Yeah.
nature of three gunas. You are tamasic sometimes, rajasic, very angry, or very lazy, or very sattvic sometimes. Yes, and so what can you do? It is you should not be tamasic. How can you not be tamasic if nature is making you tamasic? Yes, it's this pretense to by the means of nature to get out of nature is not going to work. So you will have to find that true one in you, yes, which may make change in nature. The conquest of nature is the biggest task, for it is the sacrifice to conquer the lower nature by the higher nature, yeah, of ours. There is higher nature awaits for this conquest of ours. Yes, we are the intermediaries. The yajamana, the soul, is the messenger of that higher nature to do the work and to convert this lower nature into that divine prototype of the higher nature, of the nature of the supreme. You see, paraprakriti is the nature of the supreme. The aparaprakriti of these three gunas is the nature of our, into which we were interjected souls to work with. We took this nature onto ourselves, yes? But this nature operates by all those tamas, rajas, and sattva. And constantly, we will be constantly bouncing back and forth, yes, between these. And there is no end to it. There is interesting aphorism also, I remembered. Sri Aurobindo says, to hate the sinner, or to blame, or to hate. To hate the sinner is the greatest sin, or something. Also, interesting thought, because how can you hate the sinner who is actually managed by nature? And suddenly he was possessed by, not only by gunas, but also by creatures, vital creatures who suggest, by the upbringing of his culture, by the situation in which he is. All that, if you look at the whole tapestry of all those forces around the person, you will see that with his development, the level of development of consciousness, you understand he has no choice but be that what he is. Like the animals are what they are. You know, the cat is hunting the mouse and then playing with the mouse until it is, totally giving up and then eats it. So what can you do? Mouse is so cute and so beautiful. Should you really protect the mouse or blame the cat, or what should you do? No? This is what it is, how it is. But to blame the cat or to hate the cat is something. But what you said is interesting. Sin there is also the divine, yes, Vishal? The sin there also is the divine. So sin is also a part of this enterprise here. It is needed for something. The feeling of guilt, of sin, it is a part of the process of building up of awareness of some kind, pushing us to the right direction to be aware of where the truth is, seeing that our understanding of what was sin is actually not totally correct. Who is without sin, he should first throw the stone. That is the best way to teach others about the sin, yes? Throw the stone if you are sinless. Is anyone sinless here? So understanding it really liberates you from this idea of blaming others for their sins. They rather need care, love. They need attention, consciousness, education. They need everything else but blame. Sometimes blame also helps. Sometimes slap when they are strong enough. But if they are not, they just go into even more, crunchy state of sinfulness, and they will wait for the moment to realize that sin again. There are a few footnotes here, or in the chat box somebody is writing something.
Yeah, I think
To hate the
the
sinner
passage.
is the worst
Sorry.
thing. Absolutely. For it is hating God, yet he who commits it glories in his superior virtue. This is one. Sri Aurobindo is funny, He glories in his superior virtue, the one who condemns the sinner. He feels that he is superior in every way. Can you post the passage you read, Chitra? Yes.
Yeah, that was really beautiful. I mean, Mother explains it so beautifully, right?
Yeah. Wonderful. Today is Mother came to Sri Aurobindo and they generated the whole new world together. This is the most auspicious day among all days. They come together, Sri Aurobindo and the Mother, to engage into this yoga, which is in engaging the transcendental in this world together. How to manage, how to transform this world into this divine paradise. 24th of April. Mother calls it the day of victory over the hostile forces. Hostile forces tried to hold the mother away from Sri Aurobindo. You know, when she was leaving him in 1915, she came in 1914 and left in 1915 because of Second World War, and she had to travel to Paris and then to Japan and stay in Japan. 6 years she was away, nearly 6 years. And she says when she left that time, she left her psychic being with Sri Aurobindo. Can you imagine such a thing? To leave your psychic being, your soul, with Sri Aurobindo. She was all these 6 years with her psychic being with Sri Aurobindo only, wherever she was, whatever she did.
What does it mean? How do we understand this, Vladimir? Sorry.
We don't need to understand. This is the statement by the mother. You can hold on to it, keep it in the mind, in the heart, whatever you want to do with it. There is no explanation. Only mother can do this. And I think because she did this, there's something happened to Sri Aurobindo. He started to write his Arya, and all these years he wrote all his major books. I think that was mother's major contribution. He had the alignment with the truth, which was kind of oriented to the manifestation of the divine with the mother's support. So when she came in 1920 and 24th, this day, she rejoined her psychic being with him, so to say. Rejoined herself with him.
So beautiful.
And Major, when she came, he stopped her writing. And they started to make yoga possible more and more. Very active. And anyhow, thank you all. This is great to be with you, as usual. Let me close with a mantra. We have someone new, Maya Gupta. Yes, are you new here with us?
Yes, namaste.
Namaste.
I'm hoping to join every Friday and also the new Sanskrit class on Monday.
All right. Okay, Maya. You're from India or from the US?
I'm originally from India, but I've grown up in London, and now I'm splitting my time between the ashram in Pondicherry and London.
All right. You're from London. Great. Lovely. Great. Welcome to the party.
Vladimir, I tried to join the Sanskrit class for Monday. For whatever reason, the link doesn't seem to work, but I can touch base with you offline. I'm sorry.
No, you have to sign in. There is something there. Once you sign in, you will be there. It's Namaha doing it. Yes, you're joining Namaha's class.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's almost like it just says donation. So
yeah, they ask for some money. I don't remember, $45. It's worth paying because it's like 15 hours of $45 is nothing. It's just interesting.
I was just wanting to make sure it's Namaha because for whatever reason I thought it's La Grass. So I was like, why is it saying Namaha instead of La Grass? Okay. So I am I am contributing to Namaha then. Okay.
Yes, we are paying to them. They are doing good job. Yeah.
Okay, good to know. I just wanted to confirm that it's the right link I'm using.
Great. Yeah, that's right. So,
Also,
yeah.
yesterday, as I was meditating, it's spring now in the Midwest. And so there was this phrase of Sri Aurobindo that came to me when, we get overwhelmed by whatever darkness we are seeing in the world. You pray for the victory of the truth in this world. This statement of Sri Aurobindo came that said, where he says, the creator of this universe is forever its Lord. And so that is such a great relief. Like, oh, really? It's like all this play and the Leela, whatever we see, sometimes we get overwhelmed by whatever is happening around the world. But that one statement always gives great peace. Okay, all this is okay because the creator of this universe is forever its Lord. He will always possess this universe. So I don't know who needed to hear this, but if this gives you any solace, that's for you.
Yeah, this is the insight you get. You got your insight from this phrase, which is a kind of normal phrase, but then it becomes re-emphasized in your consciousness in the moment you needed it, and it changes the whole perception of the simple phrase into something very sacred and meaningful and liberating. Yes. Yes, there are these. For me, was I was walking also and listening to we have audiobooks, so Sri Aurobindo's the essays on the Gita. You have to listen through. You just go for meditation wherever you walk. Just put it on them and listen. It's amazing what is there. You see, and he says so simple in a way that this nature in which we are kind of possessed by all these gunas. It's only a surface of that true nature which is within. So, and it gives you the insight. Oh, I'm so much more. Huh? And all that, so much more can be here. It's not some kind of an effort to make, to go somewhere, to get something. It's already all given. It's already yours by default. The divine is yours by default, and you are looking for him elsewhere, trying to find him as if he is some kind of thing can be found. It's you already here with nature. Just open up. Stop searching the way you search, and it is there. It is there already. So these are insights which we get from the texts, which are usually read with mind as normal, explanatory. They're not explanatory. They're powers which are charging our consciousness in a new way. Great. Okay, thank you all and see you next time. Namaste.